Hello everyone, it is Miss McGovern here for some more language arts. Now, if you didn't already know it, you should get out your large language arts companion work text. Now, you are going to open your book to page number 60. Page number 60, your story should look like mine. Our title of our story is Mary Anderson's Great Invention. If you haven't found your page already, I want you to press pause and find your page. All right, let's get started. Now, before we answer anything, as always, we're going to look at our genre. So our genre this week is, this story is a biography. A biography is a story about someone's life. So the title of our story is Mary Anderson's Great Invention. Our essential question, how can problem solving lead to new ideas? Read about how someone solved a problem and invented something new. All right. I'm excited to read this story about Mary Anderson. So it says, read the title, discuss what you see, write your ideas. So I'm going to look at this picture and what are some things I notice? Well, if I'm looking at the picture, it looks like she's holding something in her hand. I don't know. Think it's a pencil though. I wonder if it's like a pen or like a quill or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like a normal pencil. I'm wondering what this jar is right here. I'm wondering. Now, if I'm looking at her, I'm guessing she's Mary Anderson. It's just my guess. But if you'll notice, like her hairstyle is a little bit different. Her clothes are a little bit different than what we see today. So I'm going to make a guess that she was alive a long time ago. So it says, what is a biography? Who is this biography about? Now, we just talked about what a biography is, and you're going to write down exactly what I write down. If at any point you need to pause, you absolutely can do that. So what is a biography? A biography is a true story about someone's life. So, a biography is a true story about someone's life. Now, if you need to finish writing this, if you haven't already finished it, you can press pause so you can finish your writing. But please also make sure you've copied what I've written down. You have your capital and your punctuation. But I'm not done with this sentence yet. It says, who is this biography about? I'm guessing this biography is about Mary Anderson. Yep, Anderson. Now, you need to copy down exactly what I wrote down. Do you think that you should spell Mary Anderson correctly? Absolutely yes. Her name is up here, and I really think it's an important name. So it says, what do you think the title means? It says Mary Anderson's Great Invention. What do you think the title means? Now, I'm not going to share what I think, but I want you to make a guess, a prediction. What do you think the title means? I think the title means blah, 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 blah. And you are going to finish the rest of this sentence. So I think the title means blank. Are you just going to write down what you think it means? Absolutely not. You're going to start out with, I think the title means blank. Please pause this video if you have not finished your writing. You're writing down what you think the title means. Press pause if you need to. All right, we are going to start our reading. So our essential question this week is, how can problem solving lead to new ideas? Read about how someone solved a problem and invented something new. So let's start our story. I'll make sure my book is in the middle of the screen. It says, you might think that a ride in a bus or car is the same today as it was long ago. That isn't true. The first cars were not as fast. They were noisy. Cars didn't even have windshield wipers. When it rained, drivers rubbed their windshields with an onion. The oil from the onion would repel or keep off rain and sleet. It wasn't the best solution, but there were no better substitutes. Nothing else worked. Then a woman named Mary Anderson solved the problem. Wow, I already think I like Mary Anderson. She seems awesome. So before I answer my questions on the side, I wonder what Miss McGovern's going to have us do. Oh yeah, let's label our paragraphs. Now remember, you're always looking for that finger space, that indent. I have 1, 2 paragraphs. Now, before I answer the questions, I'm going to look at this picture. And wow, this car looks a lot different than what we have today. All right, so look at number 1. It says sentence structure. Reread the first sentence. What might you think is the same today and long ago? Underline the words that tell what the author is comparing. So let's reread the first sentence. You might think that a ride in a bus or car is the same today as it was long ago. So what might you think is the same today as it was a long time ago? We got to underline those words. Please underline them now. You can pause the video if you need to. You should have underlined ride in a bus or a car. Now, let's look at number 2, specific vocabulary. The word rub means to move something back and forth. Reread the first sentence of the second paragraph. Why did the drivers rub their windshields with onion? Why did the drivers rub their windshield with onion? Let's read it. The first sentence of the second paragraph. Pointing with me. All right, let's follow along. When it rained, drivers rubbed their windshields with an onion. Why did the drivers rub their windshields with an onion? Why were they doing that? Write it on the lines right here. You can pause the video if you need to. They did it when it rained. When did they rub their windshields with onions? When it rained. They did it when it rained. You can pause the video if you need to finish your writing. Now let's look at number 3. It says, talk about it. Discuss how cars from long ago are different from cars today. Underline 3 ways that cars from long ago are different. So, let's see. Let's look in the story and read through it. I'm going to start at the beginning and look through. And I'm going to underline my answers. So last week we worked on text evidence, and we're going to do that again this week. So it's very important that we pay attention to our story. So it says, you might think that a ride in a bus or car is the same today as it was long ago. That isn't true. I'm very curious to read about that. The first cars were not fast. They were noisy. Cars didn't even have windshield wipers. So what are 3 different ways that cars from long ago were different? I'm going to underline that. I know that the first cars were not as fast, they were noisy, and they didn't even have windshield wipers. That sounds pretty crazy to Miss McGovern. All right, if you need to pause the video to finish this page, you can. Otherwise, we're going to turn to page 62. This looks exciting. All right. Now, before I answer any of my questions, I'm going to read my story. Or let's read the story together. It started with snow. Mary Anderson grew up in Alabama. In the winter of 1902, she went to New York City. It was a cold and windy day. The sky was a gray curtain. Snow was a white blanket on the ground. Mary was cold and wet. Because she wanted to warm up and get dry, she rode a streetcar. Back then, some streetcar windshields had 2 parts. They opened with a push. From her seat, Mary watched snow and ice build up on the windshield. The streetcar driver could not see, so he pushed open the windshield. This helped him to see better. As a result, snow and ice blew in his face. Soon his nose and ears were ice cubes. Other cars kept stopping too. Sometimes the drivers hopped out. They wiped off their windshields. Then they got back in and drove. As a result, traffic moved slowly. So this is the picture of a streetcar. And then you might have seen a streetcar if you've ever been to San Francisco. The trolleys, same thing as a streetcar. Okay, so you might have written on one of those before. So let's look at our questions on the side. So it says sentence structure. Reread this. Oops, I'm sorry, Miss McGovern made a huge mistake. What do we always do first? Label our paragraphs, looking for our finger space. So I see my finger space. I have 1, 2, 3 paragraphs. I wonder if Miss McGovern is labeling the paragraphs, should you do it too? Yes, absolutely. So it says reread the second sentence in the first paragraph. Circle the comma. Underline what Mary did in the winter of 1902. So here's my first paragraph. Oh, here's the end of my first sentence. Here's the start of my second sentence. In the winter of 1902, she went to New York City. So first I'm going to circle my comma. My comma is right here. You should have circled your comma as well. Then it says underline what Mary did in the winter of 1902. Please underline that. You can pause the video if you need to. So you should have underlined, she went to New York City. Very exciting. New York is a pretty cool place. All right, let's look on the side. Number 2, comprehension, cause and effect. Read the last sentence in the first paragraph. Draw a box around the signal word that shows a cause. Underline 2 reasons that tell why Mary rode a streetcar. Reread the last sentence in the first paragraph. So my last sentence right here, let's reread it. Because she wanted to warm up and get dry, she rode a streetcar. So it says draw a box around the signal word that shows a cause. Drawing a box around the signal word because. So because she wanted to do something, something else happened. So underline the 2 reasons that tell why Mary rode a streetcar. Why did she ride a streetcar? Underline it. You can pause it if you need to. So why did she ride a streetcar? Because she wanted to warm up and get dry. You should have underlined that. If you have not already added that, please pause the video so you can add it. All right, look at number 3. It says, describe what the streetcar driver did to see better. Why were his nose and ears ice cubes? So what did the streetcar driver do to see better? You're going to start out your sentence with the streetcar driver, blah, 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 blah. You're going to say, what did he do to see better? And you also need to explain why his nose and ears were ice cubes. So you have 2 different things to explain. What did he do to see better? And why were his nose and ears ice cubes? Once you have done those 2 things, you are going to go back and you're going to take a picture of page number 60, page number 61, and page number 62, and you're going to post it for your teacher to see. Please make sure that you have answered everything. All your lines should be filled in. Your paragraph should be labeled. You should have underlined work in our writing, and you also need to finish the bottom. What did the streetcar driver do to see better? Why were his nose and ears ice cubes? All right, I will see you later. Bye.